And welcome back to the Early Late Night Live show, everybody. As you can see, I'm dressed up, and I'm dressed up to get in the spirit of what our guests are here to represent tonight, which is the dinner party. And the film written by KJ Train and directed by KJ. And we have some guests here, all of whose names I know. I'm not sure if one or two, but we're going to ask them some questions, and get to know them a little bit, and talk about the film, and see what we can, where we go from there. So, welcome everybody to the show.
Hey, welcome to the show.
And Terry and KJ in the back, of course. We're going to start with you, KJ, since you had so much to do involved with the film. What was the inspiration for this project? It started a long time ago, so give us a little background about how it all came about.
Okay, so many, many moons ago.
Do you have the mic, by the way? Oh, you have your own mic, actually. So
stand up? Oh.
Yeah.
The director just told me to stand.
Told you, you're not directing this time, Art. I'll shut up, sorry.
Many moons ago, I watched The Happiest Millionaire. And I was a teenager, and I thought, I can do better. So I wrote short stories to entertain Terry, and so he could practice all his various accents that he liked to do. So we had a Scottish guy, an Irish guy, a British guy, I think. An Italian guy.
Yeah.
And I wrote them partly because I wanted to, but also to see if I could make him laugh. So that's kind of how we got started.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How would you like to go first, sir? Introduce yourself.
Well, how about you give it to Kate, because she's wearing the microphone right now.
Kate's got the mic.
That's
perfect. Backseat host. So, Kate, what drew you to this project?
So I was very lucky to have met Terry on a previous movie set, and thankfully it worked out really well for me. He reached out and said, my sister has this movie, you should audition. And I was like, oh, yes. And I did the audition, the video audition, and thank you, Arnie. She gave me the role. And it was so cute because you wrote me back and you were like, please accept it. # sorry, not sorry. And I was like, I love this woman. I love this is perfect. And just from the start, I was so excited. It just felt great. So, and when she told me about it, it's a period movie, it's a comedy. Everything about it, I just was super excited right off the bat. And again, just fortunate enough to get the role of Dahlia.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So Peggy, you are related to these two other filmmakers and the screenwriter.
You got to give her the microphone.
Sorry, goodness.
We're doing a rolling microphone trick.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. Is that
Holding it is legal, by the way. So
Yeah.
it's legal? Oh, sweet. It's so tiny.
So you've probably done films with these guys before.
Yes, a few times.
Yeah. So this is their first feature film with Narrow Street Films, my understanding. Would you say, is that true?
I've died in a few other ones. Usually I die in your films. This is
You're
the
in
first
the
one I
first
haven't
one.
died. Spoiler alert, I don't die in the end.
So a feature film being shot in 4 days. Got to be
Yes.
kind of crazy.
That was intense. That was a lot of fun, like just a super, super long day. And I had this really, really long, heavy felt skirt, which was great because I could wear sandals and no one could see it. But I remember dragging it through, and by like the second day, I was looking at my friend who was, Aurora, and the two of us were just like, every time the scene cut, we just like pulled our skirts up all the way up to our knees, like we just need to breathe for a second, like, just a minute. So I have a lot of sympathy for maids back in the day. That
Kind
was
of like,
intense.
it'd be nice to have a fan. Like we could actually use a fan here on the
That
set.
would be nice, yeah. I should ask that next time.
Okay, so
Not so easy.
I'm curious now.
next, who'd like to go next? Let's
I guess it gets pass it on down. Hello.
introduce yourself. What character did you play? I probably should have
Okay.
done with everybody else.
So
actually.
I'm Renee Bergeron. I play Irene Waring, the suffragist who comes and destroys the dinner. I actually found this project by accident. Somebody else was actually cast in my role, and unfortunately had a scheduling conflict and had to back out. So one of my acting teachers sent out a notice to the student constituency and said, hey, one of our bodies is actually putting together a film, and they need to fill this part as soon as possible. And I read the character breakdown, and it was like feminist, Edwardian film, period, comedy. I'm like, okay, that's me. That's it. I got the part. I got the part. So it was probably the most fun I'd ever done with a self-tape in my life, because I remember her saying it was Oscar Wilde, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's gonna get it full throttle. So I'm throwing on a British accent. I mean, it didn't even require a British accent, but I threw one on anyway.
It was an excellent accent.
We actually debated whether or not your character was going to be British. Like the accent.
But then she'd have to be a suffragette and not a suffragist, and you'll see why that. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, but I had an absolute blast playing Irene, because it almost, I feel like it was written for me.
Now, you've done a lot of film in the past, in commercials and so forth. You've done other
Actually,
stuff.
no commercial work. Mostly like film and video and a little bit of TV work. But yeah, but this was actually my second feature ever. I've been a theater actor since I was like 10, so this is like, I'd only been on camera since 2017, so this is my second feature, and I'm like, oh hell, I'm gonna have a blast with this one. So.
What was it like shooting a film in 4 days?
Oh my head. 110 pages. I mean,
110 degrees, you mean?
yeah, that too. It was quite apropos. Yeah.
For every page.
It was, yeah, I know, and in period costume too, and it's like, and as Peg said, we're all like hiking up our dresses every time he said cut, because I'm like sweltering, and my makeup's like melting off my face, but.
I can relate. I'm not sure exactly why I decided to wear a wool coat today, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I mean, I was amazed, because, Terry, like, he brought so much fun to the set and everything, so it was, we learned to have a good time, but then he was right back giving us our focus, and I think all of us were just so in tune that we knew how to channel ourselves right back into focus. So it was like, okay, 110 pages in 4 days, yeah. All right, let's see the next project do that.
Nice. Very nice. So I'll just pass our mic on to our next guest.
Oh, sure.
Highly technical show here.
It's the smallest microphone I've ever held in my hand.
It's Mini Mike.
Well, it's cute. I like small things. I'm a big Chihuahua fan.
Big things in small packages. So
Hey
they
guys,
say.
all right, this is a PG show. Just be careful where we're going with this. All right. Yeah. It's
so
the early late night live show. It's not the late live show.
Let's introduce yourself and tell us what character you play.
Oh, sure. My name is Ken Neenan, and I play Edward Felson. He happens to be the owner of a mill, and he needs a loan. And that's when the fun starts, trying to convince a banker to give him some cash. But I have to say, congratulations to you. What a script, right?
Oh,
Can we all
thank
agree?
you.
What a phenomenal script.
Thank you.
It was a lot of pages, a lot of work, but it really was such a well-written script, and I was really grateful to be a part of it. I know that was a desperation play on your part, and I have proof. So yeah, we were talking about the self-taped auditions, and I'm okay with Facebook. I check it occasionally, and when I felt that maybe I should check, see if I missed anything, and then I realized that KJ and Terry needed a self-tape audition. I ran down the stairs. I hit record, and what I gave them was pretty sad. So I know it was desperation. Terry says, "Hey Ken, we got that self-tape audition, and a lot darker than we thought it was going to be. But I think it works. I think it works."
I remember that.
So it's like, okay, all right, well, thanks for the part. I hope we did it justice, because it really is a phenomenal
Oh, you guys
script.
were awesome.
And
We
what a
couldn't
great
have asked for
director
better.
you were as well.
Oh, thank you.
But no, we had a lot of fun.
They
We had
clearly
a lot of
pulled
fun
back
with
the
that.
dark part of that.
Yeah.
Because we-
Well, I mean, there are some dark parts. I'm not sure how much of that I contributed to, but we tried to make it as funny as possible, given the constraints that we had. But beautifully written, and the costumes were wonderful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you guys just want to stay there
Yeah,
in our costumes, drink
In the
bourbon,
heat.
right?
where was the film shot?
Yeah, it was Chester,
The
right?
Kent House in
Yeah.
Chester. Yeah.
Kent House in Chester.
Which was a find.
Gorgeous.
Terry found that. So.
Yeah, it's a bed and breakfast in Chester. and originally we were going to shoot the thing on a stage. We actually wanted to make it film like we were filming a play, you know. I was told to stand up. No, I got my own microphone. Yeah.
So you can be seen.
Yeah, we were going to shoot it. We were going to shoot it on. I'm awkward standing up here by myself.
Oh, you have one too?
Yeah, we're like the host of the show too. So it's like, no, we were going to shoot it on like a stage, like on a theater stage. We thought it'd be cool to actually make it look like you were watching a play. But me and Arnie actually have absolutely no theater experience at all.
And we couldn't find a stage.
We couldn't find a stage. We had no idea how to decorate a stage. And so then I was like, okay, well, that's not hard. We just got to find a period piece house that can stand up to a film shot in color with all the furniture that we need. Yeah, we can make that happen. And we did. We found so, yeah, we found a period piece house, which was the Kent House, which is a
very nice.
bed and breakfast. So.
But Terry pulled double duty because not only was he, director of cinema, I can't say it.
Cinematography.
Thank you.
Director of cinematography. Yeah.
But he played the butler, Terrence Patrick O'Neill,
Yes.
who was named after him because I wrote the book for him.
Yes, that was the original idea. Let's just see if we can do a funny accent, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And he did throughout the whole film.
It was funny.
It was.
I'm sure my Irish friends are going to be very amused when they hear it.
That's kind of an interesting question. So not everybody does an accent because it's a period set in, I don't know where it's set necessarily. Is there a specific
It's
place?
it's in New Hampshire.
In
It's in a
New
fictional
Hampshire.
town in New Hampshire.
Okay, so it was meant to be local and then not a British kind of setting.
Yes.
Necessarily. So
It
cool.
was good that we had, Peggy does an Irish accent. She does a very good Irish accent. Actually, her teacher, Renee's teacher, thought she was really from Ireland. All right? He knew I wasn't. So, but, yeah. But I mean, the good news is with all the theater experience, there wasn't a lot. The biggest concern if you're doing a period piece is you don't really want a New England accent when you're doing, and so everyone's delivery was just so clean and good with their voices that it didn't come across. It came across American, but it didn't come across with very much that the
Boston
accent
dialect.
I got, So, and Ken just has a radio voice, so it works out well.
That was great. We'll pass the mic down. With each of the cast members, but I want to start with you, Ken. What did you like most about doing the film? And in brief, and give everybody about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, well, let me see. Just working with the cast and the crew. I mean, these guys and girls were phenomenal to work with. It was just a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good to know.
You'd be able to see that script come to life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he said. But in addition to that, this was actually my first film with
No, you gotta come up with your
Narrow
own
Street.
thing. You can't just go.
And I can't wait to work with these guys again. But the cast and crew were fantastic. But just being able to be in a period film, especially the Edwardian era, which is like it's the bleep bleep. But anyway, it was just so much fun, just kind of transporting to a completely different time, and because you do have to put on a specific air when you portray that era. So it was great fun, just totally being something completely out of what I normally do. So it was great.
Very nice. Now, Peggy, by the way, what was your character's name? You played an Irish character, so what was
Yes,
her name?
I was Maggie, the housekeeper. So.
Oh, very posh
With
name.
Maggie
O'Brien.
O'Brien. Yeah, with territorial issues.
Very much so. I have loyal workers though.
No last name, though, right? Yeah.
A little bit.
You played a very abusive person in the film.
It's all perspective, okay?
Yeah.
You're not Maggie. You don't know what she goes through. Sit in judgment. Anyway.
Your favorite part of working on the film?
I would have to say kind of what Ken said. Like, I didn't know a lot of the cast before this project, and I think we had 2 rehearsals. Was it 2 rehearsals?
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, and only I think by the second one, you already felt like you knew everybody really well. So by the time we got on set, it was like I knew everybody for ever, and I could just really relax and get to work, which was really, really nice. So that was probably my favorite part of the project.
I agree with Peggy, Renee, and Ken, the exact same thing, where I only knew initially just Terry, and then I met everybody else. And coming to work, or coming to set every day that we filmed the 2 weekends in a row, it was so exciting. And to say, I get to be with my family again, because it was kind of an instant family, and instant friends right away. And just all of these relationships, and wherever you're sitting, you can throw a stone and have a great conversation with whoever you hit. It's like everyone was meshing so well, and it was just, again, with the period piece and falling into the magic of the scenes and everything too, was just, it's just a great feeling. And same thing when whether it's theater or film, but yeah, the people, the cast, just the humans were my favorite part.
The human element,
If I
yeah.
had to pick, that was my favorite.
Well, that's all very exciting, very cool. I wish I was there, but nobody told me. So, you know, that's, you win some, you lose some. But
Oh, you missed the
it
text
pays-
message?
It pays to watch Facebook for audition notices, clearly. And so I look forward to your next piece of work, KJ, for sure, and Terry and,
Hint, hint, hint.
and all of you fine actors. The film was fun to watch, and I'm glad you guys to join us and tell us a little bit about your experience. So thanks very much for coming on the show. All right, so we'll be back in just a little bit. We're going to get back to Trailer Trash.